everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. So this is your April 2025 monthly prediction. So what does the month ahead hold for you? So I've got three piles here. They're generally from the three same decks, but it depends on what cards fell out during the shuffle. There's a little bit of variation with this place card. So besides that, generally they're the kind of like same number of cards in the pile. Okay, so one green and then one pink, and then the variation rests with these place cards. So go by intuition, pick the pile that speaks to you the most, and I'll see you over the other side. Welcome back, pile one. So if you picked this particular pile, your main issue is going to be financial health for the month of April 2025. Now, just a heads up, last month's prediction, March 2025, this card also appeared. So this could be like the second installment to the story that was in the previous month, or it can just be a standalone reading. So if you do feel compelled, you can go back to March 2025's prediction and pick the financial health pile card and see what that reading, what information you can gain from that. But for this month, once again, the focus is on short-term and immediate obligations. I mean, of course, long-term ones are important as well, but this card generally talks about being, burdened by something. And so planning or figuring out a way on how to pay things back or how to relieve some pressure is going to be very important in this month. This can also relate to physical or other resources being depleted. Now, what I mean by that is, this is just an example, and it's it parts ways with this. It's a digression. But for example, let's say you have a solar battery and you've charged it, right? And you're taking it for a trip, but then you kind of forget to recharge it. And so that resource depletes itself. And then let's say you had to do some sort of like company work, and then you don't have access to electricity, like there's no power. So it can mean things like that as well, running down particular resources. It can also connect to your physical body health, because let's just say you do have a debt that you have to meet by a certain timeline, and you start doing a lot of overtime or you take on a second job. While you can accumulate more funds to pay something back, but you also deplete your own body's resources, like you might burn out your adrenal glands, for example, and that might leave you feeling kind of somewhat off. So it can connect to things like that. This is the very material aspect of this month's energy, but the emotional one that you also need to heed is giving yourself a pat on the back, basically. So this card is, it is time to celebrate, cultivate an air of celebration today. So this card shows kind of two fairies maybe. Oh, let me just switch off this light. Okay, two fairies sitting and having a bit of a yarn, just relaxing, enjoying the lush growth that is nature. Okay, so the flowers are in full bloom. We've got the waterfall. We've got a full moon representing a harvest of some sort. And then there's magic. If you can see, there are lots of like little glittery energies flying all over this card. So this is the exchange of energy, which is comforting, which is, oops, wait. Oh, okay, so she's kind of nude, half nude, and we can't show that on YouTube, sorry. So we'll just have to keep her covered for now. Yeah, so it's just celebrating any milestone in a way that feels good to you. So please don't think celebrations, self-celebrations in life only pertain to those really big events. Mini treats, I always give myself mini treats, usually once a day. Mini treats, mini fairy claps for yourself is very important to keep yourself motivated. And so that's one aspect of the emotional side that you should at least note in the month of April. Now, the next thing that I tried to get was certain places which were going to be, or which are going to be significant for the month of April. So I used a place oracle deck, but I did not choose a number of places. So I just did a shuffle, and whichever cards fall out, they just fall out. So no number in particular, but 2 cards came out for this pile. The first one is the concert, live performance, music celebration, and the second is the elevator card. So vertical transport, transit between floors, accessibility. Now, this one is very clear now, as I see it. It's enjoyment of music. So remember the time when I told you about celebrating a milestone? So it can include like going to concerts, or maybe even learning to play an instrument. If you don't directly love music, maybe it can, maybe you can listen to certain mantras to keep yourself motivated. But basically, it involves sound, it involves rest, it involves self-happiness, the pursuit of self-happiness via a sounding mechanism. Now, the elevator, I didn't take to, I don't feel it's literal. I feel this is more like a figurative thing. So maybe you are transitioning from one place to another. Maybe you're moving up in a particular job, a particular venture of some sort. Or you could have a feeling of maybe feeling stuck somewhere, or it can be meeting someone serendipitously. For example, somebody is coming down, you're going up, and somehow you meet. So it's a fortuitous thing. So that's the feeling that I get right now. But of course, I don't know the full story without consulting tarot. So today we're going to use, correct, so. Today we're going to use tarot for the great outdoors. Now this deck is proper funny, but not in that ha-ha sense. It's just that, okay, I'm not a very adventurous person. I'm more of a homebody, but I can imagine myself doing all these things and having these amazing skills like canoeing and all that, but I don't. So I live vicariously through my cards. So I enjoy looking at this deck, and I actually plan holidays imagining myself doing some of these things. Like I say, what should I do if I go here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, but today we're going to use this to see what's happening in the month of April for you. So the first thing that we're going to do is get a significator card to ground this reading. So please tell me. Okay. 3 of Vessels. Wonderful. 3 of Cups. Da-da-da. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Celebration. So you can see you're with all your great mates here. Okay? So everyone's having a blast. It looks as though you're in this kind of natural, like, lake type area that you guys have either planned or have always been to as a part of your regular kind of ritual celebration or happy place. So things look good. So, yep, you can marry these 2 energies together with that. Okay, but let's take a look at the story more concretely. Okay, now give me a story. What's happening in April? Okay, first card starts the process. Okay, let me see how many cards can I fit. All right. Oh, and we got a page. We got a page, which means we need a message. Okay, what should I use? Okay. Let me use some Sinzu cards, and then I might pull something else, more of an emotional one if I feel compelled to. Oops, they dropped. Okay, please give me a message for this Page of Cups. What does Page of Cups want to tell me? Do you have a message for me? Or for a message for pile 1? Oh, why am I dropping this? This is really strange. Okay, so I've dropped this twice already. Okay, why must I clumsy? Oh, I can't make this stuff up. This is just incredible. Okay, nurture your friendships. The human condition requires that to be whole, each person establishes a network of interpersonal relationships to help realize the human potential. The true power of friendship cannot really be understood or explained. It can only be experienced. Wow, profound. A friendship network does not grow in linear fashion. It grows in all directions. One friend is of great value. What then is the value of two? Oh my, look, 3. Okay, so we must put this message here. This definitely means something. Okay, what's the bottom? The bottom, oh, we got another message, Page of Sticks. Okay, so I might have to get another message later on. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay. It seems like this month, this energy, this celebration energy is going to be very pronounced. This connects to this, is my feeling. Okay, so if you take a look at this card, the Devil card, you can see that this is a rather daunting task, right? To try to get over this imposing structure. So these two people have got, like, the only gear that they have is this headlight cap that they're wearing, just to see how imposing this structure is. And bats are flying out from this area. Obviously, it's been an issue that has not been addressed for quite some time, because, you know, bats live in darkness and they can only accumulate in these huge numbers if there aren't regular human visitors, which means maybe not a lot of attention has been paid. Now, this card, the traditional Devil card, always has some kind of chain holding on to two people, but there's always a loophole somewhere where they can, like, run off, okay? But there's something that keeps them chained. When it is in reverse, a problem that you have not been able to face or didn't want to face for a very long time is now due for you to confront. And while it is a very small, you can only see a small part of what it is that you need to do. Nevertheless, you can see it. Okay, so like I was saying, just imagine the real situation here. You're inside this kind of like cave formation. It's very dark and you've only got this headlight thing that you can see, but you can understand the magnitude of this obstacle. But at least you're now aware of it. You're aware of it simply because something in your normal routine or in your daily life has been disrupted, and this is what brought the issue up. So this is, the news probably came quite suddenly, because while you were basically maybe mulling over the issue, chewing over the problem, you never thought that it would really come to this final point, but it did. So you can see here, there's the collapse of this tree by this like cute little beaver munching away, trying to build like a new dam formation. So it finally fell down, but it's not completely not within your scope of imagination, because the point is the beaver will chew away at this particular tree and then move it and form the little like beaver dam formation that you see at the back. But nevertheless, when the tree finally breaks over, when the tree is fully felled, there is some sort of surprise, okay? There is that element of shock, and that's basically what happened. And so this problem that has been slowly accruing and growing has been brought to your attention by some disruption that happened or will happen this month that will draw your attention to it. The good thing is you will face it, or you will have access to resources that will allow you to tackle it piece by piece. So here you're going to move floor by floor. Okay, so you're going to tackle this problem. This huge imposing tower formation is like riding an elevator up, right? So you need to start at the bottom and slowly work your way through this problem. It's financial, of course. It's going to be like a financial thing, but don't bite off more than you can chew. Just take it one layer at a time. So what that basically means is, let's say you owe $1,000. So you could try within this month, try to get 3 jobs and try to push this $1,000 debt back. Or you can make an arrangement with the person who you did borrow the money from and say, how about this month, I've only started my work, so I pay you, for example, $50 now. The next month, when I have my full salary, I'll start paying you $200 increments for blah, blah, blah amount of months, etc. Like, you know, the 3-4 months. And then we'll finalize the end, however you decide. But that's what I mean, taking it layer by layer, rather than try to like take the full chunk and just make one lump sum, because that's rather exhausting. So you don't want to burn all your resources. The good thing is your friends are going to come and help you. And so this celebration with friends energy is more than that. These besties that you have in your network are they're going to know people, friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, who's going to somehow form a net formation for you to deal with this problem possibly in an easier way. You're probably going to come to these conclusions by simply having a chat. So during this time, when you are having some relaxation time, celebrating yourself in every small increment that you do manage to make towards diminishing this debt or this obligation, during this chat, you're probably going to come across more ideas or better ways to fulfill this obligation without overtaxing yourself. Because take a look. Usually, this is traditionally the Four of Swords, and it's one person, just like kind of like curled up or something with lots of like swords, kind of just barely missing the person. But here, this downtime involves having a nice cup of cocoa and chatting along while having a blast. So this downtime to refreshen your mind is going to be done via maybe networking or talking to friends, and they're going to give you inspiration for like new ideas. And that's how you're going to pay off this financial obligation. That's how I see it. It can also mean maybe coming to terms with, but doing something that involves a group activity. So concerts usually include like, I don't know how many members there are in concerts. I don't think it has to be more than one. Besides that, who knows? Okay, so this concert energy could be leverage. Okay, so it takes many different instruments, many different players to create one piece of music. And these could be different friendship groups that somehow give you ideas or help you create a system that will eventually get you out of this conundrum. And inadvertently, it all works out together. So this month, you see, because it says here, the true power of friendship cannot really be understood or explained. It has to be experienced. A friendship network does not grow in linear fashion. So my guess is go out with your mates. This month is try to fit as many different groups that you have in your social calendar, because I think this network is not directly like one friend and then network from that. My guess is that it's here, 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 and then you pick up a piece here, pick up a piece here, pick up a piece here, and then this forms the network because it's not linear. Okay, so let me get a message, okay, because at the bottom of the deck you've got the page of sticks here. Okay, page of sticks, which is the wand. So what inspiration? Because over here she's got a new view, and he's probably pointing out, oh, this one aspect could really put that finishing touch to your masterpiece. But let's get that inspiration. So he's clearly pointing something out for her to improve her painting on. But let's see if we can get that exact piece of advice that you need to make that breakthrough. Okay, so is there a message here from the page of sticks for pile 1? Wealth. You are working towards real wealth and prosperity in your life. Keep investing in yourself and look into long-term career planning. Okay, this person is going to give you, one of your friends is going to give you a long-term view of where you need to go or what needs to be done. Maybe this person isn't even talking about your problem directly. Maybe this person is actually talking about his or her own issue. And this gives you the impetus to redesign one aspect of your life. And this looks like it will come about simply because you're working on paying back something or fulfilling an obligation. And this will spawn basically a better direction on where you will go, while having a pretty good time in nurturing your future plan, because it seems as though you're doing this with friends, which is lovely. I wish I had friends. I do actually, and I love my friends. Okay, so that's what I have for you for April 2025. I hope this made sense to you, and I hope you are working something great, because it sounds pretty exciting. Thank you for letting me read for you, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Bye. Welcome back, pile 2. So if you picked this particular batch, April 2025 is going to bring a particular incident in your life that allows you to exercise empowerment. Now, this is the grounding energy for the month of April. So I don't know when this will specifically take place, but there is going to be a challenge for you. This particular card talks about a person who is very accommodating. So because the fundamental belief maybe that you have right now is that it is better to be a giver than a receiver. It is better to be the more magnanimous one than the one who's petty. It's better to take the high road than engage in the kind of low blows, okay? Now, that's all good as a general disposition to have, though it's not good always. And I'm like this type of person, and a lot of the times I've given my power away simply by being the quote-unquote bigger person, even though I'm quite petite. Okay, but this is not always a characteristic that is admirable. Now, it took me ages to learn this. It took me literally my life thus far to learn this very, very important lesson. Okay, so you can see that at the back of this huge moon, and lunar energy at its best form is motherly. It is very soft, and it is all embracing and loving. But the true passion that lies behind her is trying to break through. So passion always involves fire. But because of this luminescence, this ethereal glow that moon mother energy has, it's eclipsing the natural fire in her. And this particular month asks you to reclaim that fire. Okay, so this is the main focus. Now, the incident that will trigger this need to exercise your own power is reviewing your responsibilities. Not all responsibilities are ours to hold. This is the underlying mechanism which will trigger the need to be stronger. So if you take a look at this particular card, oh, this is kind of weird, isn't it? So I don't know what this actually is, but it looks like, from my perspective, and as kind of like a gestalt image, right? It looks like an insect carcass, which butterflies have, escaped from. And it's, this is a very kind of like beautiful formation. It's an eclipse of some sort, because it looks as though it's not really an eclipse, but because then it'd be dark. But it kind of looks like it's something is covering the real energy of this moon. Yeah, so this full moon is being covered. And so, okay, my guess is that, this month of April, is going to ask you to stop playing this generous, always giving character, and it's going to ask you to stand up for yourself, because something is going to happen in your life in which people are going to ask you to do something, and you're not in the correct frame of mind, or you simply just don't want to do it. And now this is going to be the tug of war that you're going to have to convince yourself that you don't have to say yes to everything. And so this is going to push you to release these butterflies that were caught in this, identifying itself with this particular insect when it truly was something else. So it's going to force you to take off that shell and allow the fire aspect of yourself to come through. And this person that's going to make this request from you is just going to leave stunned, because they're just going to look at you and feel, oh, who is this person? I thought she'd always say yes, or I thought he'd always say yes. And this time they're not. And instead of saying yes, you're going to release another aspect of yourself that maybe up to this point you have not really known in real life, but maybe only in your mind. You know how we kind of replay certain events in our heads to make ourselves sound like, the hero of the story. This time you're really going to do it. Okay, so for this reading, I decided to use place cards as well. So try to find significant places for the month of April in which things could happen. And I don't decide how many place cards I will use. They just come out through the shuffle. And pile 2 only got one card, and it's the bench card. Rest, relaxation, sit in comfort, pause and ponder. Okay, now I give myself bench sitting times. Now when I bench sit, it means I need some time to figure out something. And this started when I was a teen. And there used to be a park quite near, maybe near in between school and home, that kind of area. And later I found my adult version. Okay, I hope this doesn't sound too weird, okay? But I walked past a park when I was a kid on the rare times that I walked home. And I never dared to go into that part because I had to go straight from school back to home. But when I started working near my workplace, there was also a little park that had a similar seating area with purple wisteria falling and like kind of like a vine formation which formed this kind of cover. And I would go there and try to think things through. And that's what I call my bench sitting duty. And so this is what is going to be asked of you when this situation comes. You need to do some bench sitting duties, because this is going to help you pause and ponder on why you've been acting this character all your life when this other one is trying to come through. And this situation is going to push this event through so your personality can include this other facet, which is more fiery. Okay, so that's just my impression. Now let's move on to tarot to get the full story for the month of April for you. Let's see if we can see how this events or this sequence happens, okay? So today I'm going to use the tarot for the great outdoors. So like I said to part one, this is my Living Vicariously tarot, because it contains things I don't really do in real life. Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, part one got this. This is your significator. Okay, so this is basically Page of Wands energy. Okay, so like I was saying, this is fire. This is the beginning of the fire being ignited. We need to get a message for that, okay? Because we got pages are messengers. Now let's see, how does this unfold? How does this month unfold for pile 2? Okay, show me the story, please. Show me, how does the month of April 2025, what causes this empowerment episode? Okay. Can we fit another one? Yes, we can. Oh, there is a metamorphosis. Wonderful. Oh. Oh, nice. And what underlies this? Oh, nice. King of Stones. Things are going well. Okay, now we need to get a message here. What does the Page of Wands want to tell us? What does the Page of Sticks want us to know about this empowerment issue? Okay, please tell me what we need to know about this. Okay, please. Is there a message here? Okay, not from here. Let me try another deck. Okay, do we have a message from the Page of Sticks? What needs to be known? What needs to be... Oh, there we go. Okay. Honest work. It's okay to have a job that's not very glamorous. Get some experience to help you move up in the future. Success is a process, not a quick fix. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So, like I was saying, this character that you've played for quite some time in your life, this motherly, forgiving, gentle being that you are, because you're very acquainted with this role, you feel good playing this character. You don't really know how to play the character of the powerful person. Now, this is a strength card. Now, true strength involves knowing when to apply hard strength versus soft strength. So sometimes you don't have to apply any strength to be strong. Okay? So sometimes natural momentum will allow certain things to happen. For example, water wearing away, rocks and stones. So because you've never really exercised this power, this event that's going to trigger it, it's going to leave you feeling ungrounded. So you might not necessarily act in a way that's balanced. When this opportunity comes, maybe you're going to feel, because it's a built up, like maybe there's pent up frustration and anger from many years of playing this lovely character, that this particular event is going to trigger you to finally put your foot down. So you might not know the correct degree on how to exercise your voice or your strength. Hence, it is good to, even if you didn't exercise your strength correctly, it is good to later on reflect upon why you reacted the way that you did. Okay? If you do engage in this, irrespective of how you choose to engage in this situation, like coming on too strong or not coming on strong enough, it's going to lead you to a different worldview anyway, because you have to move from this character. This baseline character that you've been playing all your life is no longer satisfying for you. So you're going to move away from it anyway. You're going to come back in contact with, most likely, someone from the past. So a blast from the past is coming into your life. This could be a childhood friend. This could be even like a childhood object. But generally, it's going to be a friend. And this friend is going to teach you how to balance this strength. Okay, so maybe this friend is going to show you, either inadvertently, so maybe during the meeting that you have with this friend, something will happen in that particular meetup to show you how your friend deals with situations which are kind of similar to what you are going to go through, or will probably go through. And you're going to see how they handled it, and that's going to give you a different perspective. And then you're going to learn the balance. Because think about it, how do you ice skate? How do you skate? I mean, people can explain it. I mean, I can't skate. Many things I can't do, actually. Okay, so I don't really know the finesse that it requires to create that balance. I mean, I have glimpses of it. I have, slight semblance of what it would feel like occasionally when I do make a glide and I don't fall. But I pretty much am stopped, not through my own choice, but through hitting the ice rink or the surrounding of the ice rink, and that stops me, or I hit somebody else. So I don't really know how to control that. But your friend is going to teach you how to balance, in this case, how to ice skate that creates a beautiful formation, allows you to go places, allows you to show off your strength, allows you to show off dexterity. And this friend will explain it or show it in a way that makes sense to you. This will allow you to shed that old self of yours and become something that is more. Because please never ever feel afraid of the death card in the tarot, because it never means a literal one. It just means that you are going through some sort of change, like the caterpillar into a butterfly, because you can see there's lovely flowers growing, okay? So what was in the past is in the past simply because the future needs to come up. And that's what this friend is going to do for you. This is part of the process that is going to allow you to build up this fire to tackle things you normally wouldn't. So as you can see, this woman who's bouldering, she's still got her friend at the bottom, basically watching out for her. But what she's going to do is purely on her own volition. She's going to get to the top, not because her friend's down there, is because she's got her eyes on the prize, right? And that's what you're going to do. This friend is only going to come along to give you that gentle nudge, but you're still going to do the heavy lifting yourself. Okay. And right now, most likely this is going to happen with, like a work situation. The advice here is don't worry about starting over again at a position or a place that's a little less than what you're currently accustomed to, because this personality makeover will ensure that even if you start at the bottom, you're going to get to the top, just like this bouldering woman, right? So never fear. So simply making this personality switch, don't feel that you're going to lose something, because this is the beginning of building up a new personality to do something that you probably never dreamed that you'll be able to do. But you're going to be able to take things one step at a time. And so this new vision of you is going to, because your friend has pointed something out, you're going to see this new landscape in your life from a different kind of perspective. And it's only very little what your friend is going to suggest here. It's not like tweaking your entire life. It's just one small change in the way that you see things that's going to make a huge difference. And once you do that, the future, what it is basically you're going to be the master of your own destiny. The King of Stones is basically the King of Pentacles. So once you make this change, you're going to find all your wishes coming true, all these shooting stars, right? And you're going to be standing at the peak. And once you make this passion connection, you're going to find wish fulfillment in many different areas. It's not just one. Okay, so it's not just going to be in one area. You're going to be making things happen for yourself in multiple areas in your life. But it does require you to make this shift first. And it is maybe in some ways to not always needing to be that nice person who everybody loves. Maybe it's okay sometimes to just be liked. Maybe it's okay to not just be liked, but to have people who feel indifferent about you. And do you understand the gradation that I'm going through? I am somebody who needs somebody like other people's quote unquote love or approval. And I've gradually kind of honed that down. So basically to the point where it's indifferent what other people think of me, but more of the milestones that I want to achieve for myself. Because that's the first step in building a more whole personality. Like, don't be afraid to disappoint other people, okay? Okay, so that's what I see for you in the month of April. There's going to be an event that's going to trigger a personality shift. And it seems as though that's the main focus for April. The bench sitting time is going to allow you to contemplate how to best exercise this newfound personality, newfound strength that you're going to have. A friend from the past is probably going to enter into your life and show you a real concrete example on how to balance yourself better. And this is going to be the trigger for you to become that new person that has greater fire and passion. Okay, so thank you very much for letting me read for you, and I hope everything works out, because while it's adorable to be this lovely, wonderful person, but it's better to have this wonderful person have spark and fire. So go out there and be something great. Okay, I hope to see you again next month. Take care. Till then, bye. Welcome back, Pile 3. So this is going to be your prediction for April 2025. Now, this is going to sound a little out there, okay? But once again, I never choose the cards. So I just shuffle and whatever comes out, comes out. Now, the foundation for, or the main event, one of the main events for April is going to involve maybe like a weird incident or an unusual one, it seems as though you're going to lose something. The thing that you are going to lose could be something that you need to use quite often, or something that you deem to be important in maybe sentimental value. Some of us who lose things every day, I'm not talking about those sorts of losses. So if you have a tendency to lose your keys, please don't count that as part of this energy that I'm about to talk about. This is losing something that that you genuinely care about and you think you need. So it's not a usual occurrence. What you'll see here is that, can you see this big round bubble that surrounds her, and then smaller ones, and then butterflies coming out from this bubble? Her eyes are closed and she's got her hands crossed, crossing her chest area, which means the feeling of safety or protection that is going to change. So butterflies always are symbolic of changes. And so she's in this kind of like cocoon of her own. Something will change that she's not anticipating because she's feeling very safe. But she is going to lose something that is going to kind of jolt her awareness on what security means for her. Now, I don't know exactly what that is at the moment because we haven't moved on to tarot yet. Now, the grounding card for this is the physical thing that might happen, okay, the material aspect. Now, this is the emotional part of this event. And it says, this is from the Inner Child Oracle. It's a gorgeous, serene picture. Because can you see all this? Like these roses, obviously, they don't grow from this particular tree. And if you look closely, it looks as though this is a person. It's a silhouette of a person who is kind of decomposing, if you will, and another image or silhouette of something rising above this. And the caption here is, let it go. Let go of all that no longer serves you. Now, I know I'm being a little bold here, and if it doesn't apply to you, please just ignore this. The thing that you're going to lose has actually been something that you've worked around to cater for, and it could be a source of problem, but you found it to be, after all these years of caring for it or having it around, it's become a source of comfort. So what I mean by that is, I used to have a little bear. It's a tiny bird. It's the very first bear my dad ever got for me. And it's like a little brown bear, maybe about this size. It's just like a cheap bear. But for me, it was the most valuable thing in my possession at that time when I was a kid. And I do remember one time I misplaced it and I was really heartbroken. But I no longer played with that bear because I had a bunny and then I had a panda and then I had, there were other toys to play with. But because that was my first bear, I had a spiritual or sentimental bond to that I couldn't release. So it's not the material value, it's that feeling of having that source of comfort lost, that I wasn't prepared for that experience at that age. I think I was maybe about 7, 8. But that was the first time in my life that I realized that some things will be either taken away from you or will be lost. Oh, and that's a very important lesson in life that you need to learn. Of course, that's a very elementary example of what it is that I'm talking about here. If we look closely at the bear, that bear, after all the years of saliva and hugging, it could have accumulated a lot of bacteria. And so simply lugging it around, breathing it in and out, and I don't know what the components were that actually like the stuffing was made of, because it was just like a mass market Kmart deal. So I don't know what was in it. So maybe if I did hold on to it and then like keep it, as in use it, not just put it away for the sentimental value, maybe it would have caused some sort of health issue for me. Now, that's just like a really crazy, silly example. In your case, it's something a little bit more serious. Now, if you take a look at what trees have a tendency to do, if there is something that blocks the tree, if you give it enough time, the root system will tend to grow around or encompass that particular obstacle, and trees tend to grow over the hurdles. In one way, that's wonderful, but in another, it's incorporated what initially was an issue as part of its core identity. And like I was saying, it's not all bad, because sometimes, you know, like you could incorporate something initially that you felt was a drawback into a strength. But then sometimes we also take on things which are downright deleterious to us as a human being, but we've just figured out ways to like maneuver ourselves around the situation. You know how sometimes you've got like a painful joint and then you don't actually go to the doctors to fix it, but you keep on just adjusting the way that you use your hand to cater for that weakness, but eventually inflammation happens more and more, and maybe you get edema, and then maybe there are other vessels and all that get affected. That's just an example, okay? So the thing that you're going to misplace or lose has that nature to it. Now, I've also picked place cards because I don't know if this is entirely going to be relevant. If it isn't, just ignore it. But places which may have some prominence or importance in the month of April for you, they include, okay, damp and rainy realm, moisture bounds, wet serenity, drizzly delight. So here, I think we can just take this as a weather condition. Now the ship here, maritime adventure, nautical journey, sailing vessel. This could actually be a place in which this object will be lost, or this could be a journey of emotions which occurs after you lose this thing that you consider to be valuable. Because like I was saying, water is symbolic of emotions. And so if you're going on a journey, it is maybe the process of releasing this attachment. Now, once again, the workspace, it can literally be your workplace that you lose this thing. But I take this to be more of a like kind of this aspect of it. It's a creative zone. So I'm guessing, just upon my impression of it, the thing that you're going to lose will cause you to analyze this on a deeper level, and a new creative idea or a new creative inspiration is going to burst forth from the release of this thing that is lost. So that's just my feeling at the moment. It might change with tarot because, you know, tarot always proves me wrong sometimes. Sometimes, always. Okay, so today I'm going to use tarot for the great outdoors, and it's a lovely deck. And as I told Pile 1 and 2, I like this deck because it allows me to live vicariously through the characters who do heroic feats like this. Like going to Mount Everest or something that I would never attempt myself. Okay, so let's see, what's the significator for this? What is this reading going to be grounded on? What is the start of this event? Okay. Oh, Ace of Blades, and there we go. new ideas. Can we put this here? Will it fit? Yes, it does. Okay. New ideas. If you just, let me put it down here so we've got more space. Oh, put it back up here. Yeah, okay. Now, as you can see, this kind of like Swiss blade has many different options. I think you can, open bottles and stuff like that. So there are multiple uses for this one tool. And at least I think that's what it is. And it is applicable in this situation where you can see everything's bottled or covered in snow. So what did we talk about before? We were talking about emotions, the water realm. So if water is the free flow of emotions, ice or snow is the bottling up or the or refraining from expressing emotions, or emotions are not free flowing. And now you've got this contraption that has multiple uses. Okay, so now that's another piece of the puzzle. Now let's move on to finding the actual event, if possible. So if we are allowed to know, please tell me what this event is. What is this lost and found event? No, not ready to fall. Okay. Okay. Oh, ready to fall. Okay. Queen of Sticks. Oh, from cold to a nice spring day. Oh, same as pile 2. 7 of Vessels. Whoa, that's nice. Okay, and 8 of Cups. 8 of Vessels. Lovely. 2 sevens. All right. Okay. Do I need anything else? Do I need anything else? No. Okay, so the object that is being that has a possibility of being lost serves multiple purposes for you, especially in concealing or hiding emotions. And what this is basically a defense mechanism. So this object actually could genuinely be a mechanical contraption of some sort that you've always kept in your pocket or somewhere, maybe always in your bag, just in case, just in case. And that just in case resides in the realm of insecurity about your own worldview on how you can protect yourself or how you can protect others. But basically, this tool or item that you have the possibility of losing is acting as a surrogate for security. Now, over here, because this is, remember, this is the ice zone, there's going to be a downpour of emotions or feelings which are going to be released. And you can clearly see that there's a weather change here. But finally, we're back to ice. So there's a story being built here, okay? So we start at this zone. Then you thaw, emotions thaw, because you begin to understand how to process maybe this fear or insecurity in a better way. Instead of having this object always by your side, you're developing a skill that can turn this insecurity into something safe. But this time, you're less reliant on the tool, but more on the skill. So here, you're just holding this Swiss blade contraption. But over here, you're using the axe to chop up firewood to keep your home, your hearth, in a livable environment. So you can cook with it, you can heat up the house, you can do all sorts of things once you understand how to chop wood properly in the correct kind of proportions and how to store them. So this skill is no longer carrying something for security. You're using the tool to utilize or to like get genuine security by understanding how things work as a cycle. And like I was saying, now it's not you alone somewhere. It is you with somebody else that you have to care for or who cares for you. And you've been able to develop this. So this is security because, okay, Seven of Stones is akin to Seven of Pentacles, okay? And so this is step-by-step developing a system where you can take care of yourself. In this particular reading, it shows her like bouldering, like climbing step-by-step up to the top. But like I was saying before, because now you've got a skill to sustain yourself, there's confidence in reaching the top. Whereas before, this Swiss blade is just kept in your pocket for the fear that just in case something happens, the only thing that you can logically do is just go around, you know, like jabbing things. There's no real skill behind just holding this, but there is here. Okay, so this particular process is going to open up a lot of options. So that fear that you initially had is no longer going to be there. Well, at least not in that way. Because once you've developed the confidence to get things for yourself, you can see life in the full context. So if this is your winter, this would be your spring working towards summer. Okay, so this is where you can exercise different options, right? So getting a better worldview, building your own castle, having exchanges with friends, and tackling life's challenges, and also having chill time because this person's just walking a dog. But there are many, many different options for you to take once you don't feel scared anymore. So this spiritual or emotional journey that accompanies with this loss is going to give rise to bountiful options in your life, on like real choices in your life based on security rather than choices based on insecurity. This full cycle, this full process is going to end with you in the reaching the finish mark. And once again, we've reached the same frigid conditions of the ice. However, this time you're no longer operating out of fear. You're enjoying the ice for what it is. You've turned it into a sport that you can win at. So you can win for first of all, and you've turned it into an element of fun. So it doesn't matter what the conditions are in life further on. You don't really need this security blanket or this security tool anymore, because sharp as though they may be, this particular, the skis allow you to travel, allow you to have different views as you go up or down in order to complete this course. And it allows you to have like jovial competition because, yeah, there's a finish mark and yeah, you can win. But there are some people who are in it just for fun. Some people are just like trying to keep up with the young'uns. They might feel a little exhausted, but you've got friends and you've got companions now. So future obstacles or challenges don't seem overwhelming anymore, because now you're operating from a system of fullness rather than emptiness or fear. The final take-home point is the biggest epiphany from losing this particular item is the understanding of moderation, or when you should leave something. Whereas before, that was probably going to be some sort of an issue. Okay, so now what I mean by that is some people refuse to be the early leavers of a party. They will stay until everybody is blind drunk and spewing the most like crazy sorts of like rhetoric or venom or or shade at each other, and then they leave with this kind of harrowing image of what their life is, rather than exercising the better option of leaving somewhere between the first guest who leaves, the antisocial one, and maybe before this last like drunken crowd all on the floor, before this point hits, maybe the optimal area to leave is this in-between place. So as you can see, these two guys, after enjoying this beautiful campsite, they know it's time to leave, and they leave willingly. They leave prepared. They've packed up everything. They've picked up their litter, and they know that there's another opportunity to come back and play again. So they're not operating out of fear. And I think that's what's going to happen this month in April for you. What initially seems like a big loss is going to release you from holding on to something because you are unsure or insecure, and develop a skill to compensate for that object that you deem to be important. But actually what was important was the skill behind utilizing this object. And you are able to make this turnaround in thoughts to acquire that skill. So in the future, even if you do reach a situation which seems precarious, you're no longer afraid. You know how to turn it around, so to make it an adventure, to make it fun. Okay, so that's what I have for you for the month of April. And yeah, I definitely hope this loss becomes something so valuable that you'll be happy that it was released from your life, rather than mourn the loss of this particular security item. Okay, so thank you very much for letting me read for you, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Bye.